back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And we hope you had a safe and happy 4th of July this past Friday. I had a nice, slow, nothing day, which was great. And then we cooked some all-American hot dogs at home. We had a little
Beth
mini
and
feast.
I just chilled all day and had brats and
Yeah. My daughter went down to the
Watched
Charles
a movie.
River in Boston and watched
What?
fireworks
Oh, yeah.
from the Cambridge side of the river and got to watch the fireworks there in Boston. I thought that was really nice.
you used to do that, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no, I was never there on 4th of July.
Oh,
But I used to go to the Charles River a lot. Yeah. But so I was happy that she went. I think it's a good experience to have. So as you notice in our beautiful centerpiece, we got those little mini. I didn't know she'd gotten one, and then on my way here, I got one. The little mini.
Happy Meal.
The little McDonald's toys. They have the little mini Happy Meal today, and then we saw the card that they gave. You can get like a mini boo bucket.
I want a boo bucket.
She wants a boo bucket, and then like a little tiny restaurant or a sign, a delivery truck. It's really cute. Like all these toys you can get. So not that I'm going to be eating Happy Meals every day, but
I use my
but those are fun. So that's what our little centerpiece is all about today. So I think Beth's going first.
I'm going first.
Okay.
So I have a finish for June's cross-stitch camp. I was doing the Celestial Sisters Biscornu, the night and day, because the challenge was to stitch a motif that shows whether you're a night or day stitcher, and since I'm both, I was using this one. And the sun I finished some time ago, a couple weeks ago. I showed, is this right? Oh, there's the sun. I don't know my sun and moon. So I did the sun the other day. I mean, earlier in June, and I finished the moon side. So this one's all done, including the little back stitch around the square. And so I of course didn't put it together, but I finished the June challenge for camp, and we went out running a bunch of errands yesterday. Went and
Day before Easter.
Thursday. I had to go get a prescription at Walmart, so we went there, and then on the way we were going to go to the grocery store, and on the way Eve says, I want to go to Hobby Lobby, and
You said, I don't do me twice.
Yeah, and so I said, yeah, I was thinking about Hobby Lobby too, because I wanted buttons for my Biscornu.
Did you? Oh, sorry, I missed it. Did you finish?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and the Moon Biscornu, I knew I wanted to use a star button, and I have some, I think, in storage. I have a little box of buttons in the storage unit, and I'm reasonably sure there are star buttons in there, but since I have no idea when we're going to get that, I went ahead and bought these little star buttons. And I was looking at, they had those cards of like maybe 3 or 4 buttons or whatever, and they didn't have anything that was yellow for the sun. And except that like they had, like you could get, a box of buttons, and I thought, I'm not going to buy a whole box of buttons for like $5 to use one button in there. And then the other ones they had just a few of the yellow buttons, they were like really big, or they were shank buttons or whatever, so nothing suitable. So I ended up buying more star buttons, but these were gold. So I think they'll work nicely.
The sun is a star after all.
Yeah, that's true. So I got these buttons, and I got some other stuff while we were at Hobby Lobby. I came across this is on sale, and it's just a patchwork cat, whatever.
Cute.
That was cute. I don't need it. Do I need it? No. I have 2 other little kits like this that I just got randomly, and I thought, I don't need that, but I'm gonna get it anyway. And then I bought this package of 25 count Lugana.
You have to come over my house and dye it.
Yeah, because it's, you know, sort of natural color.
How about fabric? Did I bring it over here?
So I had that finished. So after I finished the camp thing, I had a little bit of time left, so I did a little bit more on Millie, the animal cracker, because I had just done like one line because I just did you know, the one length of thread, so of the, you know, because I'm doing 2 over 2, so I just did one length of, you know, 2 threads together, and so I just did the other 2 to finish that little length. So I just did a little bit more on that. So then, right after midnight, on the 1st of July, I was itching to do a little bit, to at least look into this little brown bat. And so I did a teeny weeny bit up here in the corner of coal, and I still have the needle and the thread attached here, but I just started on this one little spot just because I was kind of itching to do that. And I was trying to decide, am I going to do this color? Am I going to do that color? And I just started the black because it's you know, the majority of this wing is black. It just has like this little design in it. So I thought I'd start with the coal, and that's what I'm going to be working on next, I believe, because the July cross stitch camp challenge was to stitch something by your favorite designer or whatever. And so ink circles is one of my favorites among many. And so this is her design for the Night Garden palette that came out for Nashville. Several designers designed something for the Night Garden series, palette series. And I started on the 1st, and today is the 5th of July, and I'm almost done actually. Let me put this behind us a little bit here. So right now I've done everything except I'm finishing the moon here, and then I just have the blue, it's bluish blue on the picture here. It's called Concord Grape, but it's really a blue color. So I had to do just the forget-me-nots, the flowers. And I've done all of the sort of, this is called, what's it called? Coffee and cream, this light brown color, tan color. I did the elephant, I did all of this, and I did the green, the leaves. And so all I have left is the blue flower parts. Once I finish this moon, it'll be done. So I should hopefully finish it today or tomorrow. And then I can go on to the to my WIP-GO pieces. So the little brown bat is one of them, and the other one is April Dolce Dormir, which I'm also looking forward to. But and then my new starts, I haven't even begun to think about those yet so much. So
What even is today? The 5th?
today's the 5th, yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah, so I think that is me. I'm all done.
All right, I'm going next, right?
Yes.
I'm going next, and I'm finishing a row. This is the sleeves of my, well, that's the back side. Here, I'll show you the front side. The sleeves of my aunt's sweater. They're coming along. Hold on, I don't want to lose my stitches here. I'll just show you one. They both look the same. I'm doing them 2 at a time. And I've done about maybe 15 more rows since last week. I have been working on it diligently. So I'm in row 55 and out of 85. so I only have, oh wow, I only have 30 more rows. So that's coming along. That's really all I've done this week. I have a funny project book my husband ordered for me, or got for me. Where did he find it? At Goodwill, maybe? I don't know. It's called Crafting with Cat Hair. It's basically the principles of felting that you can do with wool. And it's a very cute book. It talks about, you know, about gathering your cat's fur and talking about, you know, not brushing too much because you can damage their coat. So it's really conscientious, you know, as cat owners. It's by a Japanese designer. Anyway, it's really cute. Maybe I'll do something with it. He keeps going, have you made anything out of the cat hair yet? I'm like, not yet, not yet, not yet. But it's very cute. Like the first thing you make is a little finger puppet. Here, look. A little finger puppet out of your cat's hair. That just to learn the techniques for doing it. Look at the picture on the front. So cute. Anyway, so that's just fun. And I forgot to bring it last week. And he said, did you talk about the book on the video? I'm like, if you watched my video, you would know that I didn't. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want him to watch it.
I was gonna say,
I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, my cat Snug would love to be combed for such a thing. Puck would bite the brush and
Yes.
hate you forever.
Yes, exactly. But so yeah, he's like, when I left today, he's like, did you take your book? I'm like, I have the book. I will talk about the book. No, I do like it a lot. It's funny because I'm always talking about, you know, you can make felt toys and stuff with wool, and we're always joking because, you know, we have so much cat hair, you know, all over the place. He's like, we should make $1 million off all this cat hair, do something with all this cat hair. Anyway, so that's his idea. No, he doesn't want me to make $1 million, but that's what he said, because I was like, it talks about how don't overbrush your cat because you can damage their coat. And he goes, okay, so if we want to make this profitable, we'd have to have a lot of cats. I'm like, you are insane. So anyway, I'm sorry to be so boring, but that is me. That is me.
Can we pause so I can give the dogs more water?
Yeah.
So I didn't finish this last month. I was enjoying working on it, but I have the needle in a weird place. The bottom part is very fiddly, and I got all of the gray done, and I started working on the white. I started working on the white and went,
What, you messed it up?
no, I just didn't feel like doing it.
Oh.
It's just filling in white, so I don't need to concentrate on it. I just need to just fill in white. And it's DMC, so I can do, you know. So I just said, this isn't, you know, the cross-stitch police aren't going to come get me if I don't finish this month. You know,
I'm going to call them.
you know, and I'm like, I can fill in white anytime I'm less like doing something. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I started my July cross-stitch camp piece, Jingleberry by Erica Michaels. And I have to really concentrate on it. So I haven't gotten super far. It's not a very big pattern. And then
That's cute.
I started trying to stitch with this gold, I don't have the threads here with me, but it's a metallic, with them at the same time. And let me just say, I'll never buy this product again.
Oh no.
I love shiny, and it's really shiny, but it just was a nightmare for me to try to do it by itself. Now, when with the thread, when I did it by itself, it wasn't so annoying. But I put it over the gold thread So
Is that the, what do you call it? On the big card?
it's a card.
Yeah, a big white card. I forget.
I don't remember the name, it doesn't matter. I can put it down, but Naomi can put it down here. Okay?
Yeah, I've used that before.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I like the accentuate a lot better. So I have another bell to do over here. I think I'll get these 2 bells done and then the word ho 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 before I work on the rest of the snowflakes and the rest of the snowflakes and the rest of the ribbon. So.
Oh, that's what that green is?
Mhm.
I see.
Yeah. And then I have a very small start on OMG, they got me a whole tree. And this is where I am. So I got in the words, they got me a whole tree, and I started on the tree. This isn't a huge thing, and I probably would have been able to get it done, but I was grocery shopping and other nonsense. My life keeps getting in the way of my cross stitch. I did work some more on Winter Deer by Tiny Modernist. He's starting to have a head.
He looks like a Disney character.
He is
So
a Disney
cute.
character. I'm kidding. And then this weird stuff fell from the sky here a couple of days in a row. It was wet. I don't know.
Only once a month.
So,
A
this
couple
is
of days.
2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I only saw it once.
So,
It was wonderfully cloudy.
Phoenix is not a tall city. It is a very wide city, the greater Phoenix area.
It's a
So-
hole.
So I may have rain and she not. Naomi, who lives in a different municipality in the greater Phoenix area. Or she could have rain and I don't.
Mostly we don't get rain because Mark's the Jonah.
So this is under the sea temperature chart. We did have another day that was 115. I think it was 115, something like that. So we have another one of those really dark. June decided to go out with a bang. We had another really hot day, and then it cooled off and it rained and it was nice.
Let me see.
And then yesterday it got hot again.
Yeah.
Is that July?
Yeah, this is July. July is going to go all the way across.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Anyway.
So that one on the far end is June.
Mhm. Yeah. Then I put my sock in timeout
Uh-oh.
because I counted it and I thought it was supposed to be 70 and it was close to 70. It was supposed to be 60.
Oh, no.
So I had to pull a lot out and I'm still not down to 60 and I was just like, okay, you're in timeout.
It was my mistake, but I'm punishing you, you little sock. And the sock is very sad.
So I'm working on this.
But the sock is not going to learn its lesson, no matter how many times you put it in timeout. Sorry, I interrupted you. The Kiwi Hug Cat.
Kiwi Hug Cat. It's one of the animal hug cup.
It's a coaster.
Oh,
kind
it's
of
a
thing.
coaster.
It's kind of a coaster, but you can use it like you can put your phone in there.
Oh, I see.
Because it's got little legs that come up. See?
I see. Cute.
This one I was miscounting too, but I ended up counting. So I'm a row off, but down to amount that it was supposed to be on the row
I
next.
see.
And I was like, oh well. Because I just got to curl this in and sew it down.
Pick it up and show it.
So I just got to curl
It's
this
like a
in.
little bowl. How
and-
cute.
And I figure if it's not as wide on the bottom by one row, it's not going to really matter.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then here's a picture of a pattern that I got off of YouTube. Now she does sell this pattern in a larger size, but this is for carrying, like, hand me one of those water bottles. This is a small size where you could carry a water bottle, okay?
Hmm.
And
It's cute.
I could probably carry that soda.
Yeah.
About that big. But unfortunately, my cup is, I mean, the cup I like to drink out of all the time and take with me places is,
It's one of those that's small on the bottom and big on the top.
yeah. So it may need the larger size. And I looked on her Etsy shop to see how much she charged for the pattern. And I was like,
What's the name?
I don't know.
Because there's a crochet lady named Jada in Stitches, has a water bottle holder
This is,
that I've made several times. That's the one I made for Mary Lou, my aunt.
this is Brianna Kay.
Okay. I don't know
And,
that name.
huh?
I don't know that name.
And to be fair, I really like this pattern. But, sorry, I have the picture already, but let me see what she calls it. Crochet pattern, that's what she calls it.
Oh, I see it. Let me see.
So she has the small
The
one
small one's
on
free and the
YouTube.
big ones you pay a little bit.
Right. So I'm like, do I want to stop? It's on sale because of July 4th.
Oh,
Okay. Do I want to stop and restart it in a larger size? I don't think she puts a name here. Circle leaf crochet something. But that's this pattern, circle leaf.
uh-huh.
And I think it's really pretty, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just watching the tutorial, trying it with just a piece of some yarn that I worked on the hamburger with, and I
You realize it's too small, you think?
think it might be too small. But I also found the hamburger keychain pattern, which is right here, and that is a free tutorial.
Hmm.
And I have all those hamburger colors.
A hamburger keychain?
Mm-hmm. It's a little hamburger about this big.
That's cute.
Did you take it to work?
Yeah,
What did
everybody
they
loves
say?
it. Yeah, no, it's now. To be fair, our CEO isn't in yet, so. But I think he probably will. I don't think he'll care, but if he does, I don't think he'll see it for a long time. Just because of where I put it. It's on my shelf with all my fun things. So you should check out this lady. Her name's Jada in Stitches, and she has tons of patterns, and some of are just stitch as you watch her, free kind of thing. But that water bottle holder that I made for Mary Lou, I got from her.
So
And so you might like it.
this, I don't mind doing this if it's free,
Yeah.
but and I'm not dissing her, it's just the kind of thing I'm attracted to, okay? I looked through her Etsy shop and it's the only one I'm remotely interested in.
Oh, you should check this.
So-
You should check out this website. She does tons of crochet, and She's from Canada, and she's super sweet and funny and a little silly.
Because
but-
it's all a lot of shawls and blouses.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah. No, this is all, she mostly makes house stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and she did this one, I guess, like a year's, like not a temperature blanket, but a seasonal blanket, where you, like a square, where you did different seasons or something like that. I follow her, but I used to make a lot of her stuff. And
I've
I
seen-
haven't in a while.
I've seen where granny squares are like exploding in popularity,
Yeah,
right?
again, right.
And I think it would be fun to make a granny square, not a blanket so much as a throw,
Uh-huh.
right? Where one giant thing
Yep.
is winter and one giant thing is summer and one giant,
Yeah.
but just the colors of that.
Yeah.
But I've been watching on TikTok. I've been watching them do this crochet blanket. They're working on a Christmas one this time, and everybody puts in what they think should go next,
Oh.
and they do that pattern. This last one was a kitty hug hearts.
Oh.
It was Christmas colors. And
That
I'm
sounds
like,
cute.
yeah.
Well, I'll send you this because I think you'll like it a lot.
Okay. So, I don't know if I'm finishing this or not. So, anyway, that's me.
That's you. Well, our question of the week. Last week we asked, what are you doing on the 4th? And I confess, let me see here what our answers were. Just got a couple of answers. Noreen says, she's just talking about what she's working on, the Congress of Eagles from SAL Stitch-Works. And then Teresa said that she's having lunch with her in-laws for 4th of July. So,
Or you could be like Will Smith in Independence Day when he kicks the alien and says, "I could have been at a barbecue."
So that's great. And then our question this week is from me personally. I would like to hear your stories of the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you at your job or in front of other people that you cared about, wanting to think well of you. And that will segue into my story. So I want to know, what embarrassing things have you done, happened to you, etc. Just let's all share. Let's all let it hang out there. So on Monday, this past Monday, I was beginning my 5th week at my new job, and I had I eat these little burrito bowls from Costco. They're refrigerated, they're not frozen, so they cook for a minute and a half, and they're really good. And I like to, at my old job, they provided us with paper plates and bowls and stuff. So I would always stick a paper plate under it when I put it in the microwave. Kind of my habit. And at this job, there really isn't like a paper plate supply, but there's a few leftover things from, maybe there was a donor thing or there was a whatever. So there's just like a little stack kind of on the shelves. And in the first 4 weeks of my employment, I had kind of used up there was like 4 little paper plates, and I'd used those up. So I went to heat my thing, and I could have heated it without, but I went and grabbed the next paper plate that was there, and they were like party plates. And this particular one had a gold finish, like a shiny finish.
No.
I didn't think anything of it. Well, I had a little pause in my mind. Like, this is a party plate. This should be fine. Like that. Like, I kind of had a little, and I was like, it'll be fine. It's a paper plate.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it in, minute and a half, and my office is right next to the kitchen. So I put it in and walked to my office for a second to do something, I don't know what. And then I came back. I should have just stayed in there, whatever. I came back, and as I was walking down the hall, I smelled smoke. And it smells like campfire smoke. It doesn't smell like electrical fire or, you know, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I knew the microwave was on, but also they have an ice machine, and that's always constantly running. So I don't know, I was like, I smell smoke. And my instinct was not to go in and check the one thing that was on that was cooking something hot, which was my food. I turned left instead and went to our operations guy, and I was like, I smell smoke in the kitchen. And he goes, you're not supposed to smoke in the kitchen. And I was like, Randy, I'm being serious. I smell smoke in the kitchen. So he gets up, and the lady that was working with him in his office gets up, and we all come in, and the microwave's turning off. And so my colleague opens the door to the microwave, and this giant billow of smoke comes out.
Oh no.
I saw your post about trying to burn it.
Yeah,
And
and so the operations guy was like, "Oh yeah, well that's a metal paper plate." And I'm like, "It's not a metal paper plate. It was a coating, but it's not metallic." I don't think. I don't know. Maybe it is. But so he didn't care, and he went back to his office. But she stayed and helped me, and we took it outside because it was like literally the food was there, and it was kind of, the plastic was warped and weird, and the plate beneath it, and here's a photo, was complete ash. So it must have been a little flame in there.
Oh my gosh.
And we took it outside, and then she went back to finish what she was doing, and I was just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So, and she was like, well, I think you can still eat your lunch. But then I was looking at it, and half of it was like black, and I'm like, I don't want burnt plastic in my food. So I threw everything away in the kitchen, and the whole office smelled like a campfire. And I'm just like, I am so glad our CEO is out of town this week. I'm so glad our CEO is out of town this week. So
What's the mistake to hire this girl?
I know. So the glass was coated like this, like that gold plate was there, but then there was like this sticky, like melty ick on the glass. So I scrubbed that, and I tried to scrub the inside of the microwave. Had this gray hue to it, and I tried to scrub it like with a paper towel, but I kind of gave up probably too soon. But I did take the actual trash out of the building because I thought that ash in there is just going to keep stinking. And it smelled so bad. My head hurt all day from that. And I was mortified. And you could literally smell it because the office is in like a circle. And so you could walk around, you could smell the whole, oh, it's awful. I was like, I cannot believe I did this. And the funny part is, okay, that at the symphony, 4 months maybe before I left, we had a toaster, and I had 2 pieces of bread. It's this like low keto, it's like keto bread. It's like seed bread, and I put it in there, and I, turned the toaster on, and walked to my cubicle, which was right there, and I forgot that I had put it in, but it's not my fault because toasters are supposed to turn off when they're done cooking, and this one did not. It was faulty, so it just kept burning the toast. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting at my desk, and all of a sudden the alarm goes off, the fire alarm, and everyone's like freaking out, and I'm like, what's going on? And I walk in, I'm like, it's my bread. It was not my fault, but it was my bread. Like I should have, oh.
If I'd stayed there.
If I'd stayed there. So.
Okay.
So fast forward, I tried to burn my office down, and then and as my colleague, like the next day, he scrubbed it with like a microfiber cloth, and that got most of that stuff out. So I felt bad that he did it, but because I'm like, I could have done it, but I didn't think it would. I thought it was stained like forever, and he did not accept it. So anyway, I was mortified. So that was my most embarrassing, not probably, I don't know if it's my most embarrassing, but it's my most recent embarrassing
I
story.
worked with developmentally disabled adults. Okay, keep this in mind. I worked with people that, you know, had some sort of cognitive problem. I got dressed really fast one morning. I arrived there, and it takes one of these people, after I've been there for hours, mind you, to say, "Your shirt's on inside out."
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what a brave soul comes to me and goes, "Your shirt's on inside out."
Everyone else was too scared to tell you.
Well, no,
Oh my
they
gosh.
may not have noticed. I don't know, but
I was mortified.
none of my colleagues said anything.
Like, why did you let me run around like this?
When I was in high school, in youth
I wish
symphony,
I could say I only did it once.
when I was in high school in youth symphony, we played at a local high school, you know, something, and we did the Bersusen finale from Firebird Suite. It's a
Me too.
Yeah. And so it's fairly common, but there's a big bassoon solo in there, and so at the end of the performance, and we were, you know, getting applause. The conductor had me stand up and, you know, take a, you know, say an individual bow or whatever, and then I sat down, and then I think must have been the last we played or whatever, and then as I was leaving, one of my colleagues, I guess, told me that the zipper on the bottom of my dress, you know, it goes all the way down the back, right? So at the bottom of it, the zipper had like separated.
Oh no.
And I thought, I wonder who is behind me, could have seen my underwear or whatever, you know.
At least you were wearing some.
Yeah. So my mother would just say, well, you know what, also when I was in college, we were going on tour somewhere, the orchestra. So we were all in the bus, and the skirt that I was wearing a top and skirt that time, and the skirt I was wearing had like just an elastic waist. It was but it was a long skirt, a floor length skirt. And as I was getting off the bus, at the front of the bus there were like steps, down to get out of the bus. So we're all like in a big, train of people, to get off the bus with our instruments and everything else. And as I was stepping off the bus, I was like, all of a sudden I couldn't go any, couldn't take another step. And my skirt was like stretching out behind me. And what it was is that the person behind me had stepped on the skirt as I went down, it draped over the step. And I think it was Denise, stepped on my skirt, and my skirt's going, stretching out behind me. It didn't rip, fortunately, but it was like, I'm gonna pull
It didn't come down?
No, fortunately, it just stretched out.
Oh gosh, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
No.
Oh my gosh.
The other thing was that one day I went to work. This is when I was in Arkansas. I went to work and it was
a lot. Is what you're saying?
Yes, it was. We had. I don't know if it was once a month or if it was every Friday. I can't remember, but we could wear jeans on Friday, and I went to work. Blah blah blah. I was wearing my jeans, and I realized like toward the end of the day, I think.
That it wasn't Friday.
That it was Thursday, not Friday. And here I was in my jeans, all happy, like, it's not Thursday. It's not Friday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, so Hobbs, my cat, walks all over me in the mornings. And he doesn't recognize weekends. He doesn't recognize holidays. He always just wants to wake me up. So I think this was on the 4th in the morning. He just is like, and he like, I call it fish flopping because he'll lay down, but then he's not happy and he has to lay down this way and then he has to lay down this way and then he has to get up here and he has to get in my face and he has to do this. So, and I'm always like, get off, get off, get off, get off. So somehow,
I love you with all my heart, but get off of me.
So somehow, and I didn't have my glasses on, so somehow I'm doing this, and so he's walking across, like, so he steps over my head, and there's this belly on my face. And then I was trying to get him off, or I don't know what, and he stepped or was trying to jump. I don't understand how it happened. But he kicked me. I don't know if it was his knee or his, you know, his little knee or his foot right in my nose. Just bam! Oh, it's my holiday. Stop it. He kicked me in the face. I've never been kicked in the face by a cat before.
So yesterday I had to take my son's girlfriend to her car, which was in a parking structure near the university. And did you know that if you drive near the university, you have to drive on the tracks? Anyway.
Yeah, there's like
I am
street
uncomfortable
cars.
with this.
There's streetcars that
Yeah.
run.
I am uncomfortable with this. But there's also tons and tons of construction, and so you can only be in this lane and blah, blah, blah. And then the one she was in, the area is, you can get in, but you can't get out. You know, you have to, it's, because it's downtown and it's near the university, not downtown Phoenix, downtown Tempe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked Waze to tell me how to get home from there. I knew my way home. I knew I could have gone back the way I came. But it's easier just to ask Waze, and it gets you out of this mess, right? So I just turned around, and sometime after I turned around and went to go out, a car got behind me. And I'm turning left onto one of the roads there in downtown Tempe, which has no little amount of traffic on it. I mean, it's a busy street, right? And I'm turning left with no light. So I have to wait until there's nobody, because I have to turn directly into the lane. There's no middle lane there because of the type of street it is, right? The car behind me starts honking. I'm like, well, first it honked at me because it didn't think I should have stopped at the stop sign. And then it was honking at me because I stopped a different stop sign on the way over there. And then I wasn't turning quickly enough. I'm like, there are cars here. I'm not going to turn in front of cars.
Worst.
And I don't understand the mindset of, you're not turning when I think you should go. You're stopped at the stop sign too long, or you shouldn't have stopped at that stop sign. I'm sorry, stop sign, I'm going to stop. Even if there's nobody there, I'm going to stop.
That's just someone who's just so angry.
Yeah,
Can't
and
think straight.
I'm like, you don't see the street because there's buildings like this, and only the person in front can see the street.
Right.
All he can see is what's directly in front of him. And I'm like, I'm looking at what the traffic, you think I want to sit here for my health? And just...
There are people who just take chances and just go where there's no room. They just, so I was waiting to turn into the shopping center where my son works. I was in the turn lane in the middle of a busy road. So there's, what is there? Three
lanes going
three
each way.
lanes each way, and I was waiting.
And the middle
to turn.
lane.
And directly across from that driveway is one of those semi-residential streets. It's a street into a residence, but there's also an out from another shopping center, like comes right there. So those people can come across. So I'm sitting here waiting to turn, which gives me the right of way because I am in the roadway and I can see the traffic coming. And this guy comes and he flies in front of me and goes straight across the road. As though he has the right of way to cut completely across the road in front of me, and I'm already in the roadway.
Where was Frank when you needed him?
I know. If I do something stupid like that, there is a cop waiting because the Lord is like on a mission to improve my character. But when people do this to me, there's no one ever. And I was turning in, so I was like, I honked at him, of course, because I was so mad. And I go in, and then I see him in the grocery store, and I'm like, but I didn't say anything. But I wanted to walk up to him and say, do you know that I had the right of way, and you turned in front of me, and we could have had an accident. So then this morning, I dropped my son off there, and I'm coming out. Now that shopping center, it's kind of, you know, cattywampus the way they all are, because they try to keep you from flying through there. But here's all the parking lanes for the grocery store. And then there's kind of a lane like this that comes straight down. And, well, no, it doesn't go straight to the street.
It doesn't. It goes like this and this and
yeah,
this.
but there's another one that comes like this behind the gas station, and it comes out and it goes to the road. But as you approach the road, you have traffic from the Taco Bell, traffic from the gas station. But it's not like, it's like the gas station driveway is like a really wide, open space entrance. And there's
traffic
a road
from the
here.
parking lot.
Yeah, and so I'm coming down this little road. Now, I am on an actual lane, if you will, in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not have any
You have
stop.
the right of way.
I have the right of way. But this big driveway coming out of the gas station is so wide that I know it's the same spot where one time I was doing that, and there were two cars here, and we all kind of met at the same time, and we all looked at each other like, I don't know, what do we do now? And then we all just, you know, figured it out. But so I'm coming like this, and this giant SUV is just coming, no stopping, no stopping, no stopping. I finally hit my brakes and hit the horn, and he stops all of a sudden, and I'm like, are you so giant that you can't see my SUV coming down the thing? Or you just don't care, and you think you're in a parking lot, so you get to muscle your way around?
That parking lot is dangerous.
It's awful.
I saw a video where, and it was like totally inexplicable. You're watching going, what is this person thinking? They were like on a side road, and there's this very busy highway or whatever, and this person just turned like from here to the wall, just in front of all this traffic, and it was like, they got hit, of course, you know, and because this, I know it was a semi with a traffic cam or something like that. And there's like,
I don't
somebody, you look, and it's like, it's not impossible to see that there's a vehicle there, that there are several vehicles there. And it wasn't like you know, they were so far away that this person just misjudged how fast the traffic was. No, the traffic was right there. I'm like, what are you thinking?
You know that spot where you were telling me you wanted to turn in to get into the thing to take Eli?
Mm-hmm.
Right there was a brand new driver who was trying to turn and was hit by another car.
Oh, jeez.
And I don't even think it was his fault, but
Yeah.
he was killed right there. There was a
Oh,
little
my
cross
gosh.
there for a really long
Yeah, I
time.
think I remember that.
And he had just gotten his driver's license, and his mom said he could go to the grocery store for her.
Oh, man, don't tell me that. I know.
And that's why you have to be vigilant. You can't just say,
That's what my dad used to always say, just assume everybody else is an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to do something
They're
stupid.
going to do the absolute stupidest thing.
like
Yeah.
the people across from us going out
Yeah.
from here, you know,
Yeah, because when
they
we're turning
think that
right,
because they've been waiting there longer, they have the right of way, and they do not.
Did I tell you about that time when Mark was coming home from, he was coming, I think, was it him or was it me? No, it was him. He was in a turn lane to turn up our street, and he was sitting there waiting for the traffic, and this person in the far lane stopped. It was a tiny side street. There's no stop sign. There's no light. The light was way over there. And they stopped and were like waving him across one of those major 3-lane both ways kind of streets. And he was like, And he said, I thought if I turned, they would hit me and blame me. Like an insurance scam. And I thought, I never would have thought that in a million years. But then not too long after, I was in my neighborhood, and there's a thoroughfare, you know, it doesn't have any stop signs on it, you know, but very few. And then of course all the other little streets as you come out have stop signs, right? So I'm going like this, and I have my blinker on, and I see a Jeep coming the other direction, and she doesn't have a stop sign, so, but I'm stopped because I'm gonna turn left on my actual street. And she comes up and she stops. And I'm like, you don't have to stop. We would all save more time if you would just drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that. And I don't think like there that she would do something like that, but it's like, but it made me think, like, I never thought about that like someone could bait you that way.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past people.
My boss was on her way to work, and she was coming off, I believe she was coming off the freeway and was turning onto 2nd Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in front of her there was a woman, and the woman started to go, and she's looking back at the traffic, my boss is. The woman started to go, so she figured she went, right?
Yep.
And so then she started to go and
She hit her.
smack,
Yeah.
right?
I had a friend who was in an accident like that.
And so she talked with her, and, oh, we don't need to call the cops, you know, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
It's just, you know, she got to work, and I said, you need to go down to the police substation and fill out a report right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take you. And she goes, no, I'm sure it's fine. There she was, you know, with her yogurt and all that, and she was really nice. I said, no.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you need to go fill out a report, say exactly what happened, take pictures of your car. And unfortunately, she didn't take pictures of her car.
That woman tried to sue her.
Yeah, they had the same insurance company. But so it took forever for it to go through, but she went and said that, her neck hurt from being hit from behind, and, and all this stuff. And I'm like, she's like, I am so glad that I listened to you about going to make a report.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she wanted to change insurance companies because they weren't telling her what to do with herself, and it was going on and on and on and on. And she had this thing hanging over her, and it was making her crazy.
When I first started working at Family Life, we leased office spaces from some other landlord, I guess. And so we were on. It was like a U-shaped complex, with two little 3-story buildings or something like that. And anyway. But on the upper floors at our building there was at least one other company. I remember there were 2 or whatever. But so our parking lot was always just really, really full. And so, so people would park like all higgledy-piggledy, in spaces that were not actual parking spaces, and so it was always very crowded. And one time I was backing out of a parking space, and this other car was parked, I guess, on the curb or something. I don't know maybe it was the other way around. I don't know what, but no, I think I was in a space. But I heard, because I looked in my mirrors, right, on the mirror on the windshield and on the 2 side mirrors, and I looked and I didn't see it, right? I didn't see anything. And so I started backing up, and I think I turned as I backed out of the space, and I hit another car. So of course I stopped right away, and I looked, and I don't think there was a dent in the other car, or maybe a tiny one. I don't remember, because it was it was very slow, and so I don't remember if I had left a note or something, but this girl, young girl, it was her car that I hit, right? So we were talking about it, and she was like, oh, it's it was her father's car, and oh, he's gonna be so mad, and blah blah blah, blah this and blah blah that. And so I gave her my insurance information and whatever, and then but she was like, concerned that it was, you know, her dad was going to be mad, it was going to cost so much, and blah, blah, blah. And so I, you know, said, well, you know, here's my information, you know, talk to me, whatever. Because I couldn't see any damage at all, right?
But you didn't take a
whatever.
picture?
But yeah. So, huh?
You didn't take a picture?
No.
This was before I think she had a cell phone on her all the time.
But you know, but I was like, oh, well, you know, whatever. And so, and then like, I think the next day she was like, oh, no, it's okay. And I'm like, either she was not insured or her car wasn't insured or something, because I thought, you know, otherwise, if it was really all that damage, you know, they would have you know, done something about it.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me the opposite.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know, I was
I mean,
going to
I've
say
never been
when I was when I was you know, in the symphony, the before they started letting us park in the parking garage, it was attached to our building, whatever. Usually, people in the symphony, we would again park higgledy-piggledy, and so, you know, if you were really early, if you got there really early, there was this little sort of half circle drive, and people would park there when they could, because it was close to the hall, right? But then across Broadway, which was the main drag through that area, downtown Little Rock, across from the hall there was City Hall, and there were a handful of spaces over there. So that was another, you know, prime place to park, because you were just right across the hall from the thing. Otherwise, you had to go who knows where downtown to find a place to park, right? So, so the thing about the City Hall parking is there were parking spaces like facing City Hall, the building, and then there was a long road down, you know, going down, and then you could like park here and there, higgledy-piggledy, under the bridges or whatever. But you could also park along that road, right, along the curb or along the wall, behind these other spaces. So it was just accepted, you know, that was how you parked. Well, one time I parked along that curb, and this was one of the side-by-side concerts where the youth symphony played along with us, and so I think the youth symphony played with us, and then we played another piece after without them, you know. And I came out, and this girl that was in the youth symphony, who had her mother's like big SUV, like a Land Rover or something, had backed into my car and dented it. And so she gave me some, you know, like a numbers or whatever, and I don't know if it was, well, I guess her phone number, and I don't know what all information was on there, because it wasn't all the information that I needed. You know, she was some young girl, she was by herself, and I probably didn't know what, you know. But so, and I don't think we met in person. I think she let something, you know. Yeah. And so it took forever to figure out the phone number, the whatever place, you know, but eventually it got taken care of, you know.
That's good.
But then...
Yeah, I was hit by this young girl who...
But...
Huh?
I was
hit by this young girl who started crying, and she called her mom and handed me the phone, and I was like, it's all right, everyone's okay. She sideswiped me because we were going through an intersection, and there was a bus, and she didn't want to be stuck behind the bus, so she just got in and didn't look, just blind spot and all that, and hit the front of my car.
Well, I was going to say, so this happened again.
Oh, geez.
Several years later, and the person who hit me was the daughter of my colleague in the symphony. Yeah. So her daughter had backed into my car, and it was the same situation.
They wanted to just pay.
And they wanted, you know, my colleague, you know, says, well, you know, could we just not go through the insurance company, because her daughter had, I think this was her, I don't know, her third or fourth accident, because she said the insurance company would have dropped her because she had hit a city bus, and a couple of things, and I'm
Maybe
thinking,
she should.
yeah, I was thinking maybe she should have
Go
her
back to
driver's license
school.
taken away because she's obviously
When
doesn't
Jan was in high
know how to
school,
drive
she
without
kept
hitting
backing
somebody.
into cars.
What?
When Jan was in high school, she kept backing into cars.
So my colleague wanted me to not go to the insurance company and just to get her, get an estimate and tell her how much it was. So I went to, my car's a Honda. There was a Honda dealership downtown where I had gone the time before when I had it fixed. So there was a Honda body shop downtown that I had been to several times before. So that's where I went to get the estimate. And so of course it was pretty costly because my Honda had a I guess a unibody thing, so that because of where the dent was, they would have had to replace the whole side of the car.
And they didn't want to.
And so the estimate was going to be pretty high. And so when I told her, she was like, I don't know, they thought I was going to go
Insurance is for.
Yeah, they thought I was going to go to some Joe's Body Shop kind of thing, And so I said, no, this is how much it was going to be.
It would cost that much no matter where you went.
Yeah, so then they went to the insurance company, and I think that they probably told the insurance because she had told me, could you tell your insurance company you don't know who hit you? And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna lie. And
you want to work with me?
Yeah.
You want to be my colleague? No.
Yeah. And so eventually they did go to the insurance company.
Because then it would have been on your
Yeah.
driving record.
And I think that they told the insurance company that she was the one driving. They didn't,
Well, that's on them.
And so it was like very,
Yeah.
very shady.
My iPad died, so I always take that as a sign from God that I have to be done. with
Oh, well,
things.
I was going to tell you when you were talking about your cat kicking you in the face. That was like I immediately thought of when I lived in Little Rock. I had the two sweetest cats. Never did anything to me, Hotspur and Cyrano. And Cyrano would always jump up on the bed, and there was a little space that I usually was like back of the edge of my bed, and there was a little space there where he would lie down. And one time I was, closer to the edge of the bed, and he jumped up, and the way he landed, he started to slide off the bed. And so he went like this to stop. Only I was lying there like this, and so his claw hooked my eyelid, and I could feel it going, pulling away from my eye, and I was like, And so I had like a tear on my eyelid where he had, his claw had hooked it.
Yeah. I had
And
a big cut from one of these cats one time that jumped on my face accidentally at night like that.
And so I had one of those. I didn't have anything on it at first, and one of my a person from my church that I worked with in children's choir, she's like, oh, you do something, and so she was like, had some Neosporin and one of those little teeny weeny tiny Band-Aids,
Band-Aids, yeah.
But it actually gave me a headache, that little Band-Aid, because it was like pushing, in my eye, whatever. But but I remember when I went there, and there were these women that I worked with, and this one woman, not a cat person, she goes, did it poke your eyeball? And I'm like, I would not be sitting here if it had gone through and poked me in the eyeball. I would have been to the emergency room, and
Yeah.
But no, it's like no. And so it was very.
Those cats. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, I always take it when my electronics die. That means it's time to go. I have to get my son from work, and I was late this morning today because I had to go get a shower curtain rod for our bathroom, because all of a sudden yesterday we're sitting around. Mark was asleep. Eli was in his room. I'm sitting there. I think I was playing a video game or something. And all of a sudden, and both cats were sitting with me. All of a sudden I hear crash, and I'm like, the cats are here. What was that? And I'm going in the kitchen. There's nothing. I go all over. Finally, I go into the bathroom, and the shower curtain rod had fallen. And we were calculating that rod was probably about 5 years old. And somebody who shall remain nameless, my son, when he showers, like he'll and like I hear him yank yank boom, because how the things are on the skinny part and they get stuck on,
Oh,
the,
yeah, yeah.
on the top part. And I kept saying like, you need to stop yanking on it, because I came one time and it was like this. So, but it also, when I tried to put it up today, it wasn't necessarily, I kind of blamed him, but when I tried to put it up yesterday, it just wouldn't hold. Like, you know, it's one of those it's not a spring, it's like a twisty one, and it just wouldn't hold itself. So, so we went today and got a new
rod.
that matched. And I realized, like, yeah, we did that bathroom in early 21, so that the rod was kind of, it just lost its grip on reality. So, but yeah, so that's been my fun day. Anyway, I better go.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us again for all of our nonsense and crafting. We hope you got some crafting done while you were chatting with us. And we will see you next week, which will be just before my birthday.
It's just another day.
Yeah, my birthday is going to not be fun because
Isn't July 15th the National Ice Cream Day or something like that?
it at one point,
Yeah.
but it's also the day we go on sale to the public, and apparently, I mean, I used to work at this company years ago, but it's grown so much that last year on their first on sale day, they did $800,000 of sales in one day. So that's what I have to look forward to on my birthday. So, but anyway, we will see you next week, same time, same place, same station, same nonsense. Thanks so much for joining us. Bye.
Bye.